I'm Dale Rogers, a native of Franklin and a 1976 graduate of Hanson Memorial High School. I am the 61-year-old son of O. Ray and Louise Rogers. I have been married for 40 years to the former Tammy Pelche. We have 3 children. Jenny Rogers Dorsey, married to Stephen Dorsey, Kent Rogers, married to Holly Battaglio, and Benjamin Rogers. I have 8 little children that call me Papa. I have been in the construction business for 40 years. I am announcing my candidacy for the office of St. Mary Parish Councilman, District 9 at large, which represents the entire parish of St. Mary. Every voter in the parish can vote in this council race. I am currently serving as Parish Councilman representing District 3, which encompasses Verdonville, Centerville, Highway 317 to Burns Point, Garden City, parts of Franklin, Chatsworth, and west along the Intercoastal Canal to Sycamore Point. 4 years ago, while campaigning for my current seat, I made a commitment to District 3 voters that if elected, I would get road construction projects done. Promises made, promises kept. I have dedicated my 13 and a half years of government experience on working on rebuilding the infrastructure in St. Mary Parish. I have and will always support projects that accomplish these goals. If elected as Parish at-large council member, I will have more of an input on the budgeting process for parish government. After 2020, $20 million of bond money will have been spent. We cannot wait another 20 years for a funding source for more road improvements. I will look into the possibility to use the millions of dollars that we receive from state government that goes into our road construction maintenance fund to try to find additional road projects every budget year. We must do this on a yearly basis. I have the proven experience and leadership skills to cut the red tape when dealing with parish government and to take on the responsibilities of being available to my constituents. I have listened to all their concerns and complaints and tried to the best of my ability to help find a solution for each and every one of them. Please help me continue this work by your support and vote on October 12th, number 106, Dale Rogers, District 9. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Next will be Dr. Prejeant. Again, you will have 3 minutes to give us an opening statement.
Anyone who knows me knows this is difficult because I don't like talking about myself. So short brief of it, I'm Dr. Kristi Prejeant. I'm running for District 9 at large for a parish council. Brief background, I'm born and raised in South Louisiana. I'm from the West Bank of New Orleans. My dad's a commercial fisherman. I've seen the struggles that he's had in that industry his entire life. It's probably what made me the self-motivated person that I am now. Being smart in school made me have the drive to succeed in everything that I've done. I graduated from Louisiana School in Natchitoches, which is a state high school, which is one of the best things that this government has done for education, to allow people that came from other areas to excel without having to go to a privately funded school. I then went to a combined bachelor's and MD program at LSU in Shreveport, so completely LSU trained. Went to LSU Health Sciences Center for my MD. Then I got recruited, then I went to OU in Oklahoma City for my residency, and I got recruited back here. They had had trouble keeping a surgeon here in town, so that was the draw to bring me back. You know, they wanted somebody that was going to stay. I've proven that I care for this community. I've stayed in this community for 9 years now, serving as now the only sole surgeon taking call over at Tesh Regional. A few years ago, almost 4 years ago, I expanded my practice to the west side of the parish. Since I live in the middle of the parish, I thought it was more appropriate that I serve both sides of the parish. I have 2 biologic children. I'm about to be married to a gentleman who's a retired fire chief and does industrial construction. My 2 biologic children are 21 and 15. One is a sophomore at Morgan City High. The other one is trying to be out in the real world and make a living. So he is trying to make me proud at this point, since college wasn't his thing. But those aren't my only 2 kids. If you ask anybody that they've graduated with, their entire class are my kids. I have about 5 dozen kids that routinely come to my house and call me mom. So it's a big family, and that's what I want this parish to be. I want this parish to be a big family. We need to work together. The only way we're going to get things done is to get back to where things were when I was growing up, and everybody cared about what was happening with everybody else, and we were doing things for the global good of the parish and the global good of the community, not just self-serving. This is Kristi Prejeant. I appreciate you guys' vote on October 12th. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our candidate on the end, Mr. Pontiff. You'll have 3 minutes for your opening remarks.
Good evening, everyone. Fall is trying to fall, and anybody else in this room has fall allergies? Am I the only one in the building? And if I am, I ask that you please excuse my voice. This is not me, and if I need to come back and clear that up one day, I will. Murphy Pontiff, I was born and raised in and around Franklin, Louisiana. Graduated from Franklin High School, went on to Nichols on a work scholarship to take care of the farm at Nichols and the greenhouse and the Coke machines and whatever else needed to be done. I was available. I had a place to stay. I had food to eat. Life was good. After 2 years at Nichols, I decided to move on. I had learned a lot of things, and I thought I knew everything, but I was wrong. So I decided to go to work and make a little more money with the oil field. I did that, worked all over South Louisiana as a roughneck, floor hand, derrick hand, and made a little bit of money. And after that, at the ripe old age of 20 years old, I married Brenda Christensen, and we have 4 children, 3 daughters and a son. We have 11 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. They're all doing better than we are, so we're proud of them, and we're very happy. After getting married, I went to Cabot. I worked in the carbon industry in Bias Alley. I spent 11 years out there, starting as a laborer, moving up to a pipe fitter helper, a welding helper, as a shift maintenance guy. I became an operator. From there, I became a shift foreman, and from there, I wound up being the safety and training coordinator for Cabot Corporation. While I was at Cabot, they allowed me to work at night, and I went to school in the daytime, and I completed my education and got my bachelor's degree. I got hired by Franklin High as an agriculture teacher, enjoyed 11 wonderful years there, and continued going to school, got my master's degree. I then went to Glencoe as the principal, stayed there 5 years, wonderful little school. It's still operating. And then I moved to the central office in Centerville as maintenance and vocational instructor and civil defense coordinator. I spent 1 term 20 years ago on the Parish Council, and then I served 2 terms on St. Mary Parish School Board. In the last 2 years, I was parish president. So after I retired, I continued teaching part-time at Young Memorial, teaching the Safe Land, Safe Gulf PEC program for the all field workers to go work. 2009, OSHA and Bessie passed a law saying you cannot work in the oil field without having a safety card, and that's what they got in the class. Thank you.
Thank you. Each candidate was provided with a list of questions for tonight's forum. Because of our limited time frame, again, we will only use 2 of those questions tonight. We will start with question number 1, and that is, what characteristics would you look for in choosing a candidate for the Hospital District Board? What characteristics would you look for in choosing a candidate for the Hospital District Board? Mr. Rogers, you'll answer that first.
Sir. Thank you. Hospital service districts were established under the provisions of Louisiana Revised Statute 46-1051 and are created by the parish governing authority in which each district is domiciled. Hospital service districts are governed by a board of commissioners who are appointed by the parish governing authority. I would like to see a physician on the board representing the physicians in the area I would like to see a business or banking leader to bring some administrative thinking to the board. I would like to encourage a small business owner that represents the small business owners throughout the area that manage day-to-day budgets and cut costs daily in their own business to ensure that we are being financially accountable in the actions of the board. I would like to see a resident from the district that represents the people who feel they don't have a voice. Let's give them a voice on the board. And lastly, and most importantly, I would like to see a person from each hospital staff, whether this is a nurse, x-ray tech, lab tech, or pulmonary staff, appointed to both hospital service districts in the parish. When I, as a councilman for District 3, was dealing with the issues at both Hospital Service District number 1 in Franklin and Hospital Service District number 2 in Morgan City, I was mostly reached out by these people, the workers. They have felt that they were left out and ignored. Let's give them a say-so and a real chance to have a voice that cannot be ignored. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Dr. Prejeant will answer the same question. What characteristics would you look for in choosing a candidate for the Hospital District Board? What characteristics would you look for in choosing a candidate for the Hospital District Board?
Wow, that's a loaded question given what's happened last year. So I guess to start off, it depends on what that Hospital Service District Board is going to represent for the hospital. As we know, we have 2 hospital service districts in this parish. One hospital service district board actually is performing the function of running that hospital. The other hospital service district, which functions for TESH, is supposed to just manage a lease, but we obviously saw that that was not what was happening at that point. So the functionality of that board is really going to determine what that board needs to be made of. As we saw before with the Hospital Service District Board and all of the controversy that was happening with TESH last year, the makeup of that Hospital Service District Board was not representative of anything in this parish, much less representative of us. We are TESH. The physicians are TESH. The employees are TESH. I think if you don't have an understanding of the business of medicine, then being on a Hospital Service District Board does not suit a hospital, especially in light of the fact that you may be running that hospital, which is what came close to happening with TESH Regional. So if they are just functioning as a governing board for a lease, then having smart businessmen involved is a good start. If it's going to actually be running the hospital, I think you do have to have those key leaders involved. Leadership from the hospital staff, you have leadership physicians that need to be involved in that process, but you also have to be involved in more business leadership. I think a good model for that would be what we have as an actual hospital board, where we have lawyers, local business people, local involved community members that have sat on our board and are sitting in and asking educated questions, and the entire process is transparent, which is not happening on any of the other hospital boards.
Thank you. And Mr. Pontiff, you'll have the same question. What characteristics would you look for in choosing a candidate for the Hospital District Board? What characteristics would you look for in choosing a candidate for the Hospital District Board?
I think first and foremost, we need to have people on the hospital board that are very familiar with the day-to-day activities of that hospital. All the hospitals have different functions, and having said that, you're going to have different needs from the committee, and it's very important that you select the people. As Dr. Prejeant said, you need to be very selective and especially pick out people that will fit with the hospital. These hospital boards we've been having in St. Mary Parish, there's been a battle going on 20 years ago when I was on the Parish Council. We had a battle at Lakewood Hospital. So is it going to end? I don't know. But in the meantime, we need to decide a good fit, and I think some of the characteristics that you need to consider, first off, be familiar with the workings of a hospital, and they're not all alike. They're all different. Secondly, I think a person on the committee needs to have experience on committee work, because it's very important to get along with the committee, learn how to negotiate, learn how to work with the committee and get things done rather than bicker all the time and have partisan and disagreements and what have you. Lastly, I think one of the most important things with hospitals is budget management. You need somebody that's experienced to deal with the funding that's available and stay within the guidelines of whatever that is that money is supposed to be spent for. Also, you need to be familiar with local laws, state laws, and federal laws. A hospital is a magnificent operation, very complicated and very complex, and you best be aware of the laws that you're dealing with, and sometimes we make decisions that falls by the wayside. Having said that, they also need to be familiar with emergency services, which caters to the hospital, and that's a crucial part of it. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move into our second question, and Dr. Prejeant will answer this one first. Why do you want to serve on the parish council? Why do you want to serve on the parish council?
My main motivator was what happened to me last year. You know, I'm chief of staff at Tesh. I was watching our hospital potentially go into ruins and felt that I needed to get involved on a more central aspect in dealing with this and dealing with the survivability of our hospitals. If our hospitals don't survive in this parish, then it doesn't matter what economic development we're going to have, because we will have none if we don't have a hospital that can provide acute care services to this community. So that was my main motivating factor for getting involved. I've been involved in community activities with my kids and other organizations throughout, speaking, leadership. I've been involved in the hospital leadership for a long time, and I felt that I could serve this parish on a better basis as an at-large member representing the entire parish. I'm willing to listen to what anybody has to say and to work for what's right for the people. As you can see with what happened last year, I'm not scared to put my neck on the line if it's the right thing to do, and to try and get things propelled ahead and forward for this community so that we can have a better St. Mary Parish that all of our kids are going to want to live in and grow up in.
Thank you. And next, Mr. Pontiff, you'll have the same question. Why do you want to serve on the parish council? Why do you want to serve on the parish council?
I feel that it's very important to be trained in whatever area that you're interested in, and throughout my entire career for the last 35 years, I've been trained by the United States Air Force and the Civil Air Patrol. We did search and rescue, and it's amazing training, and those of you that have gone through the military, you know how it is. They always want you to get another upgrade. They want you to improve every week, and it just never ending, continuing today. So what we do with the Civil Air Patrol is the Air Force will call us, and back 20 years ago, Dr. Mel Bourgeois was our squadron commander, and he was a fabulous pilot, and I enjoyed riding with him and flying with him all those years that he was there. Next, I was a civil defense coordinator. When I moved from Glencoe Elementary and I went to the central office, lo and behold, Hurricane Andrew came through and put severe damage on all of the schools in St. Mary Parish, and I was selected to be the guy to recover it. The insurance company gave us $12 million to spend to repair it, and we kept all of, we hired a firm came in, a hurricane recovery team came in, and they worked 7 days and presented the board with a $3 million bill. Well, the superintendent asked me if we could recover. We said, we don't know yet, but we'll try. We did it. It took 3 years, and we put $1 million in the bank at the end of the deal. And hopefully some of that is still there. So, secondly, I'm a Homeland Security first responder, incident commander at level 700, and enjoyed training for that, and my time is up.
Thank you. And Councilman Rogers, you'll have the same question. Why do you want to serve on the parish council? Why do you want to serve on the parish council?
I want to continue to serve in St. Mary Parish because I have the experience and leadership skills to move our parish forward into the future. I have 13 and a half years of municipal and parish government experience. I want to continue to use this knowledge to serve the entire parish of St. Mary from Amelia to the Degenerate line. One thing I believe in is that infrastructure is the foundation of our parish and communities. If we as elected officials cannot maintain the basic services to our parish, why would any business move to our area? We must make this our priority. Along with my years of government experience, I have 40 years of construction background. I have a proven record of accomplishments in getting infrastructure projects started and completed. I'm asking for your support to continue the work I have started on rebuilding our basic infrastructure throughout this parish. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, each candidate will have 3 minutes to summarize his or her candidacy. We will begin with Mr. Pontiff. Again, you will have 3 minutes to summarize your candidacy.
Thank you. And to wrap up the Homeland Security issues, I wanted, and I had this planned, to spend a little time on Homeland Security. I'm a card-carrying member, as I said, and this program was developed by the federal government with the 9/11 attack. Anthony Boudreaux and I were flying that morning, and we landed in Houma to do a SWAT team with the state police to take them around and do a mission with them and show them our operation and how they can function with the Civil Air Patrol. We do things like that with government agencies and governing bodies. And I think the most important thing that can come out of me tonight is to tell this group, everybody needs to be familiar with Homeland Security. It would take me, I've been studying it and testing and renewing and updating for years now. And it's a massive program. And basically, whenever you have a major disaster like the bombing, Katrina, General Honore came as the incident commander, and he immediately grabbed a hold of the people that he needed in New Orleans to quieten all the misery that was taking place out there, and he did a fantastic job. And it's a program, pull it up, Homeland Security, study it, because you all need to understand we have an incident taking place just about every day in this country. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and it's amazing, and you need somebody that's qualified to deal with that, get with the local officials and fix the problem and do the recovery, take care of the wounded, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Councilman Rogers, you will also have 3 minutes for your final statements.
I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event and the people here tonight that listened to the questions and answers from everyone up here tonight. The legislative power of the Parish Council comes from the 8 single district council members and the 3 at-large council members as a whole. One member alone has no power or authority to get any legislation passed. The chairman of the council is voted on by the entire council and is selected from the 3 at-large members and can change each year. When I am elected the Parish District 9 at-large member, I will have the opportunity to be the chairman of the Parish Council. This is a very important position. You must know how to work with and communicate with administration and other council members to get things done for the citizens of our parish. Please help me and support me October 12th, vote number 106, Dale Rogers. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, Dr. Prejeant, you will have 3 minutes to wrap up your candidacy.
Thank you, Jason, and thank everyone for coming tonight, including the Chamber for putting this event on. The last question kind of stole some of that thunder, but on why we wanted to run. But as far as a closing, I think you want an at-large member that can work as a team. We do that on a daily basis in the hospital, coordinating patient care. That's been ingrained in our training. As a trauma resident, I mean, we coordinate 5, 6 different services sometimes on these patients. So we know how to judge the good and the bad and weigh what's best for the patient and go ahead with that. I'd like to translate that into the parish and be able to look at the overall picture and decide what in that scenario is the best thing for this parish. So teamwork, I think, is a huge thing, and as an at-large member, you are a part of that team, but you need to be a leader. And I've proven that I've had leadership skills from day one. I have an active leadership role in the hospital. We take charge in any other events for the schools. I have a PA program that rotates with me, so I continue to do education with the students and continue to do training. I think you need somebody that's honest and not going to tell you just what you want to hear and is going to tell it to you like it really needs to happen. Unfortunately, that's part of surgical training. You have to be honest and you have to bear bad news sometimes. So that needs to happen. Transparency needs to happen in this parish. We need to know what's going on. You need to know where your money's going. You need to know why the decisions are being made. You need somebody that you can trust that's going to actually do that. And I would like to see you guys come out and vote, whether you vote for me or one of these other 2 candidates up here on October 12th. But you've seen everyone up here and you've heard their answers, and I think you can now make an educated decision on who should serve this parish and who could be a proven leader in this parish and who could provide what you need for this parish to develop and to grow. I will humbly ask for you guys' vote on October 12th. I'm number 105 on the ballot.